What is your go-to fun fact? Yoda and Miss Piggy were both voiced by the same person. In ancient China, people used dragon bones to practice traditional medicine. Turns out, these weren't the bones of dragons, but the bones of dinosaurs and other extinct animals. Dolphins can share visual information with one another using sonar, which almost borders on telepathy. The female body can produce a whole person faster than you can regrow one of your big toenails. Pound cake is called that because you need a pound of each of the traditional ingredients in order to make it. I have two. One is that Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire, and the other is that if a tapeworm eats another tapeworm, it can recall the memories of the dead worm. The entire world would be a nuclear wasteland if one man had signed off to torpedo use ships during the Cuban Missile Crisis. The other two officers signed off, but he didn't. His name is Vasily Arkhipov, and dude is an unsung hero. The dot above the lowercase ing has a name. It's called a tittle. For owls. Cows can't walk downstairs because their knees don't bend that way. Charlie Chaplin lost a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. Albert Einstein was offered to be the president of Israel. I usually go for big numbers. Humans aren't great at working out or imagining truly large numbers, distances, time, etc. One between the Earth and the Moon you could fit, side by side, all the other planets in our solar system. 2 Picasso was around recently enough that he could have seen the Godfather movie in theaters. 3 Oxford University is older than the Aztec Empire. By a large amount too. It's like 200 years or something. 4 There's a 30-year overlap where both the Holy Roman Empire and the United States of America coexisted. 5 If only 0.1% of the population of Earth finds you attractive, that's still 750,000 people. Stay beautiful. When sober, rats enjoy silence, but high on cocaine, they enjoy jazz. I just love that someone actually researched this. If you ate 40,000 bananas in 10 minutes, the radiation would kill you. In some cases, a woman can still give birth to a baby after her death. A jar of peanut butter could contain up to 5 rodent hairs. The UK has 69 cities. Snoop Dogg's personal blunt roller makes between 40,000, 50,000 per year to roll blunts for him. Bubble wrap was first meant to be used as wallpaper. It is illegal to own only one guinea pig in Switzerland, as they are deemed social creatures. 2 or more must be owned. Well, Pac-Man was originally called Puck-Man. They changed it not because Pac-Man looks like a hockey puck. Paku means flap your mouth. And they were worried that people would change. Scratch out the P, turn it into an F, like. It has been a while since I last posted the list of standard Reddit facts TM. Cleopatra lived closer to our time now than she did to when the Great Pyramids were built. The Tyrannosaurus Rex lived close to our time now than it did to that of the Stegosaurus. Mammoths were alive when the Great Pyramids were built. Zhuge Liang did that awesome thing where he fooled that guy. Oxford University predates the Aztec Empire. Cows have best friends and get lonely if they are separated. John Tyler, the 10th President of the United States, still has living grandsons. Otters hold hands to stop each floating away when they sleep. And they also have favorite rocks that they keep in their pouches. A baby echidna is called a puggle. A puggle. Space is visible from the Great Wall of China. Swans can be gay. Steve Buscemi was a firefighter during 9/11. Steve Jobs may have died because he had a fruit-only diet. You can fit all the planets between Earth and the Moon. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the galaxy. There are more permutations of a deck of 52 cards than atoms in the universe. The closest point in the United States to Africa is in the state of Maine. Toronto is about 300 miles south of Seattle. If a cookie looks done when it's still in the oven, it's going to be overdone. They cook for a few minutes after you take them out. Dunno if it's been said, but a lot of pigments from the past Victorian era, etc. could kill you. Like green wallpaper was full of poisons that slowly killed house members. And mummy brown was a paint made from actual mummies. The skull of an owl is asymmetrical, so the ear canals are implanted on different positions of the head. That way, an owl can better localize the exact source of a sound made by their prey, because both eardrums will receive the sound waves differently, and the brain makes sense of that difference. Another fun fact: asymmetrical owl skull would be a great name for a metal band. Edison did not invent the light bulb. Joseph Swan did. But there are at least 22 inventors that made working light bulbs before Swan did. Chess is a mandatory school subject across Armenia for every child over the age of 6. Killer whales are in fact dolphins, and not real whales. Female rats can give birth up to 1,200 babies a year. Night vision is usually green because it has the most tints and shades of any color that we can see. If you're feeling nauseous, humming can help reduce it. The high five was invented in 1977. Peregrine falcons see the world in slow motion. It helps them track their prey when hunting at high speeds. In fact, their visual processing is so much faster than humans that if you showed them a movie they could make out each individual frame. All the carbon and oxygen atoms in your body have formed in the nuclear furnace of an ancient star that predated the solar system. After the star exploded, those atoms floated through space for countless millions of years before they coagulated to form the Earth. And eventually you are literally made from stardust. The hydrogen atoms, perhaps even more incredibly, formed 20 microseconds after the Big Bang and have existed since, witnessing the entire 14.5 billion year history of the universe before they became part of you. A polar bear's skin is black, and its fur is clear. The two stone lions outside the New York City Public Library are named Patience and Fortitude. If you build a man a fire, he is warm for a night. If you set a man on fire, he's warm for the rest of his life. Most nurses carry a red crayon around with them in case they have to draw blood. The fact that elephants have 4 knees is wrong. They have just 2 like all land-based mammals. Most car horns are in the key of F. The pitch may be different, but long ago that was decided for whatever reason to be the best tone for a horn. Crocodiles are closer related to birds than lizards and snakes. Crocodilians and dinosaurs share a common ancestor that lived around 250 million years ago, and some dinosaur species branched off and became birds. The second most well-known classic blunder is never get involved in a land war in Asia. If you stretch someone's blood vessels out of their body and across America, you would get a murder charge. There are more planes in the ocean than there are submarines in the sky. Whatever the last fact I remember. Fun fact: Vlad the Impaler ran up a hill and unleashed a bunch of rabid bats on his enemies. It helped him win a war or something. Also, it's why Dracula turns into bats. I have 2. Queen Victoria's wedding ring was made of aluminium beast. It was the most expensive metal at the time. You started your life inside your grandmother. Did you know, when Amy Schumer was younger, she'd tell everyone she was going to become a comedian when she was older. Everyone laughed at her back then for saying this. Now, no one's laughing. Saying I'm at the top of the bell curve after an IQ test means you are average. The exterior of the Ghostbusters Firehouse headquarters is Hook Ladder 8 in Manhattan. but the interiors including the birthday party and the beginning of the second movie were shot in Fire Station 23 in downtown Los Angeles. The color orange is named after the fruit. It was previously known as yellow red. A billion hours ago, human life appeared on Earth. A billion minutes ago, Christianity emerged. A billion seconds ago, the Beatles changed music. A billion Coca-Colas ago was yesterday morning. Robert Goizueta, Chief Executive of the Coca-Cola Company, April 1997. To avoid tearing crying whilst cutting onions, breathe only from the mouth. The Malagasy and Hawaiian languages are related. Madagascar was discovered and settled by the same culture that discovered and settled the Pacific. It takes every mammal, from the elephant to the mouse, 20 seconds to empty their bladders when full. It takes a maximum of 3 minutes without oxygen to sustain brain damage and 5 minutes for death to occur. I have brain damage, although as far as I'm aware no one tried to suffocate me. When you shuffle a deck of playing cards, they have never been in that order in the history of humanity. Have a Google of 52, or 52 factorial. It's an astronomically large number. Art is art, but, still. On the other hand, water is water, isn't it? And east is east, and west is west. And if you take cranberries and stew them like a plesauce, it tastes much more like prunes than rhubarb does. Now you tell me what you know. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe,